ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it. Taking bad hits, taking back hits. Subscribe.
Dude, you are so metal. Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Transformers action figure review on the Transformers Generations Bumblebee Movie Studio Series Bumblebee Deluxe class figure. If you're trying to get your Transformers figures, you can do so at
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
I actually did pick this up at retail at my local Target store. I did not expect to find this. I had to check the section and bam, there was just one Bumblebee there. So pretty stoked about finding this out in the wild. And I did see the trailer. I'll talk about that later on. But anyway, it says Studio Series number 18. We get a nice image of Bumblebee. And then on the back, you can see both modes right over there. Not much as far as the read-ups go. It just says big screen inspired scale detail backdrop. And it says Charlie's Garage right there. Then there's some other figures from the Studio Series wave, or line anyway. And then on this side right here, you can see Bumblebee with his ghetto blaster. And then you get an Autobot symbol right there. Window sliver at the very top. Not much more at the bottom. So let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's Bumblebee out of the packaging. Looking pretty awesome. I can't say enough how excited I am for this Bumblebee movie. I did see the trailer, and it does look amazing. I saw the latest trailer anyway, and wow, oh my god. But anyway, we are looking at a Bumblebee in Volkswagen Beetle mode, as he should have been the first time around, man. So I'm really happy to finally see this. It looks really good. I like both modes. There's a decent number of accessories with this figure, but I do have problems with it. It's kind of like a really hot chick with really nasty teeth. Yeah, so at first glance, everything looks fun and awesome, but when it gets to transformation, I don't know. The fun factor goes into the negative zone. Anyway, let's take a closer look. Now, like all these other Studio Series figures, we get this cardboard backdrop right here. For this Bumblebee movie figure, we get Charlie's Garage, and you can plop your little Bumblebee figure on right over there. So that's kind of nifty, you know, it looks pretty good, but I'm not the biggest fan of these. I haven't really used them very much. Now, looking at this figure itself, I think there's a fair amount of good paint and sculpted detail. I love that we get the VW logo right here in the hubcaps, and I like the translucent plastic right there for the windows, and we get some nice little touches of red paint right here for the tail lights. And these are squished together, and then we get, you know, some gray plastic right over here for the rear bumper and the front bumper. But it looks pretty good, and we have some paint right here for these fog lights right there, so that's pretty neat, and I like the sculpted detail right there for the headlights. And then you can store the accessories, so we have the extra masked, battle mode version for Bumblebee underneath right there. We get his Pacific Rim sword right here. Just pop that off. That looks really good. I like the silver paint apps on that. Looks beautiful. Then we have his stinger right here, which goes where his stinger goes, right? And you just take that off. And that looks pretty nice as well with that gunmetal gray. I like that a lot, you know. One unfortunate thing is that I did have some ink on my hand when I was opening this figure. And yeah, so there are tiny little black ink spots throughout on this figure. And I tried to get most of them off. So that's not Hasbro's fault if you see those. I like the sculpted treads right here at the bottom of the wheels. That's pretty neat. And as far as functionality goes, he rolls pretty well. I don't think I really transformed him completely. He just doesn't feel complete to me. I can't imagine you didn't notice already, but you know, these tabs aren't tabbed in all the way, and that's my biggest gripe with this figure. So just getting my biggest gripe out of the way, it's just the tab. See, like, how come this side is tabbed in and I can't get this side to tab in correctly? I've transformed this thing numerous times, watched several reviews, I've read the directions. Not a total freaking idiot over here, man. Put some effort into transforming this thing, and it's just, yeah, it's just tricky to transform into alt mode. So not so difficult getting him into robot mode, you know, so that's pretty cool, and I do like how that head looks. But we'll take a closer look at that later on. You can see this back panel piece right here. This is all, and I'm untabbing stuff as I try to get that in place. So yeah, see, that's frustrating. But so before we get to the transformation, let's get some measurements and size comparisons. So measuring out his vehicle mode, he's at about 4.5 inches across, and and he's standing just at about 1 3/4 inches tall. And here's our first Studio Series Bumblebee next to the Bumblebee Movie Studio Series figure, and you can see that while this was really small, this one's even smaller, as you can see right over here as far as the length of the vehicle goes. I guess height-wise, the VW Bug's a bit taller than the Camaro. Fairly consistent color of yellow for these two, just a little bit darker on the VW. Then here's our new Bumblebee movie figure next to the Transformers Masterpiece G1 inspired Bumblebee, and you can see that this is a much darker yellow color, and they are both Volkswagen Beetles, and they're not too different in size. I mean, especially for this being a Masterpiece figure, you can see they're more or less about the same size. Let's see here, I think the Masterpiece is just a little bit longer, and by the way, transforming this figure right here into the alt mode, oh my god, so much easier than transforming this one. And this is the Masterpiece. And then here's the new Bumblebee figure next to our G1 Bumblebee, and yeah, they're, you know, very different in size, but the color yellow seems very, very close. Maybe just a tiny bit darker with this one, but yeah, pretty similar. One thing I'm noticing is that I don't see an Autobot symbol anywhere on this Bumblebee figure, especially for the alt mode, which is a little bit weird, you know, not too bad. But anyway, let's get on to the transformation, which I don't really like very much. So will you take us away, Bumblebee? Alright, good job, Bumblebee. Okay, so we're gonna untab from the very back right over here, which it's already kind of done, you know, for me, just because it doesn't like to tab in too well. Then untab these panels right here off to the side, and then we can get these panels right here over the head, you know, just folded in like that. And then we can start forming the legs. I like to pull these down, and then we can get this whole section pulled down right here. So you want to detach the little toesies from the very back of it, you know, come through right here. Then you want to shift this whole, you can see where this metal pin is right here. We have this black piece of plastic. You want to shift that towards the tire. So shift that away from the center of the figure, and then pull this up, and then move this down, and this tabs into that black piece with that silver pin. And then we have the nice Bumblebee feet that we can shift forward. Do the same thing on this side. Shift this away from the center of the figure, so we're moving outward like that, and then tabbing this piece in right here, and it doesn't, there it goes, and you don't hear it click or anything. So now we have some legs, and then you want to rotate these 180, and then we can take the arms and flip these out. Tabbing these into the side is not very easy to do. You can see there's a little tab sticking out right over there, and then you have just the tiniest little port, or no, it's not that, it's a little port right here, and then there's the peg that goes into this little side thingy right here. So it's ever so tiny. That little one goes into that one. I have a tendency to have these sink in past that peg, so watch out for that. It's a little irritating that that happens. Transforming the figure overall is just not really fun. It's my least favorite part of this figure, but hey, they've managed to make this all look really good. And one thing that I don't think many of us have really talked about is how film accurate this transformation looks. You know, this is, I think, the first movie figure where it actually looks like he's transforming just like how we see in the movie. So that has me very excited, and I'm not describing everything I'm doing. You saw me pull these down right here, and then you have the Bumblebee wings that you could move down right there and fold that in, and then move this down here and fold that in. If you want, you could, you know, hinge these downward or collapse this if you'd like. You know, if you don't like those hanging down, I think they look kind of neat though. And then you have the whole backpack piece that you could fold in once, fold in again, and then tuck that all the way up right into here, which is kind of tricky to do. I always get a little scared doing that, but let's see here. There it is. All right, so there that goes. I think that looks pretty good. And now we pretty much have Bumblebee in his robot mode, and this robot mode looks great. As I mentioned earlier, I really love how both the alt and robot modes look on this figure. Very compact, and yet he does have a lot of great details to him. I just think this is awesome, and it does look how it looks in the trailers so far, so I'm really excited about that. Let's get a closer look. Now, I love how the head sculpt looks on this Bumblebee figure, especially how much it looks like the original movie Bumblebee figure head sculpt. Here's our Studio Series Bumblebee head, and then we have our new Studio Series Bumblebee head. It's the same face, so yeah, I really like how Paramount is making this all part of the Bayformers continuation and everything. I love the details that we're seeing right there. The eyes look great. Tiny little Autobot symbol right there on the forehead. I like his little ears. Those are cute. I like it very much. Nice vibrant paint. Really liking that. Now he does come with his battle mode mask, which looks awesome. I like how the blue paint looks right there. Nice sculpt. I accidentally added some black paint on the sides. That sucks so bad. I need to take some rubbing alcohol to that. I cannot swap these out though. I've tried numerous times. I am afraid to break the ears, and I'm not going to keep on trying at this point. And then the head pops off most of the time when I try it. So that's very frustrating. I wish I can get this faceplate on there. I just want to add this clip in this video over here because towards the end of me shooting this video, I actually did get the faceplate off. As you can see, some paint is missing. Maybe just a little bit on that left eye, and that does bum me out. So what I did was I was able to wedge my fingernail in between right here, and you can see some paint came off, so that's frustrating. So I've just wedged that in there, and then I could take off the face, and you can see the paint missing from the left eye. That's very bothersome. And then you can see it right over here with the mask on there. So that looks pretty cool just to see it on the figure because I went through the trouble and everything. That's how that looks. There is storage for it though, so I can go ahead and port it right here into one of the wings. Just put it aside. Try to port that in upside down here. It's a little tricky to do, especially while on camera, but there it goes. It looks a little bit weird like that, but hey, that's cool. And then you can also get his weapons attached to the figure, which is really neat. But first I just want to look at the front of him. I mean, that looks really cool. Love how he has the headlights right over there in the front. Very G1 reminiscent. Not to Bumblebee, you know, kind of reminds me more of Jazz, but still, I like it. Kind of reminds me of like the video game look and stuff, and we get some nice silver paint right here. Some dull gray plastic, but that's okay. I'm not really bummed out about it because we do get touches of silver throughout. Nice sculpted detail right there for the lower abdomen. And then looking at the thighs, I like how it's split up with the yellow and silver. The boots and everything look great. Very G1, you know, lanky leg kind of thing going on right here. We got some nice silver right there. I just really like the color scheme throughout on this figure. It looks awesome. He does have a colito port, so you can put him in a stand if you'd like to do that. So that's pretty nifty too. Now for the most part, I do like the articulation on this figure. You cannot move the head up, so that bothers me a little bit, but it will look down just the tiniest bit, and you get side-to-side motion right over there. You'd get a hinge right here in the shoulder due to transformation, so with the ball-jointed shoulder and that hinge, you can get his arms moving all the way up that far and all the way down, but I'll try to shift this into position, so that's kind of how it's supposed to be. And you can kind of turn it in and out just a little bit. It's on a ball joint right there. You get a, oh, there goes a wrist. It's just held together via friction, no pins. You get a single jointed elbow that bends in just a little bit more than 90 degrees, and you get a rotation at the elbow, and then due to transformation, the wrists can move down. And then he has a waist swivel right here, and his hips can move all the way out that far, and he can kick forward very far, back very far, and you get a little bit of shifting ball joint rotation in there, so an upper thigh swivel a bit. And then he bends about 90 degrees, not quite, right there at the knee. Then the ankles can move down and they move up, and they do have ankle pivot. I love that. That makes me so happy. Yeah, we got some beautiful ankle pivot on this deluxe class figure. It works out really, really well. That is just too awesome. I love that. Before measuring out this figure, I just wanted to mention that, you know, getting him to stand can be a little tricky, especially in vanilla poses. I feel like I have to get the top part of his leg kind of set back from the front or the lower portion of his leg. I don't know. It looks okay to me, but I think that's kind of weird. Anyway, measuring out this Bumblebee figure, you can see that he's very short, standing at about 4.5 inches tall. And then here's our new Bumblebee figure next to his first studio version Bumblebee figure, and you can see how much shorter this guy is compared to that one. Whoa, and then here's Bumblebee next to our original 2007 Deluxe class Bumblebee figure from the first Transformers movie. Yeah, I picked that up way back in 2007 and customized it a bit. You can see the added silver dry brushing, but yeah, wow, look how tiny he is compared to this one. That is ridiculous. Then here's our Bumblebee movie figure next to the Transformers Masterpiece G1 inspired Bumblebee, and yeah, the Masterpiece figure is actually not that much taller than this Studio Series figure. And then here's our new Bumblebee figure next to our very first G1 Bumblebee figure. Bumblebee Party, yeah! And then here's Bumblebee next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Oh, cool, new Transformer. Hey, did you know that I could transform too? Check it out. See? Kind of neat, right? Sorry. I gotta give you guys a big thanks for watching my video. I really do appreciate it when you guys watch these videos all the way from the beginning to the end. It really does help out this YouTube channel a lot, as well as when you hit that like button if you like the video. Please leave a comment down below letting me know what you think of the figure, let me know what you think of the review, and please hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And I gotta give a special thanks to all the patrons out there that believe in this YouTube channel and that support me on the Patreon. I thank you guys so much. This figure has made me very happy and very upset all at once. It's kind of a trip, man. I mean, I think it looks amazing, and I think this is a fun figure overall, except there's a lot of fun factor taken away from it when you get into transforming the figure. Posing it is a lot of fun, though. I really like posing it around, so I do enjoy it. It's just the transformation is a bit weak. I had that problem with the mask. There's just some functionality things here and there as far as transformation goes that just makes it a whole lot of not fun. You know what I mean? It could be disappointing at times. I'm definitely going to seek a replacement because I had that paint chipping on the top of the head. That cannon, I was able to get that, or I guess that's the stinger or the cannon, but I was able to get that on there, but just barely. So there's some QC issues that aren't my fault that I have to really, you know, kind of ding it some points here, I guess, but not really because I'm a sucker and I love my G1 and I love my Bayformers and they finally kind of met in the middle over here. So I'm giving this a Sud rating of I love it! Yeah, and I can understand if you don't feel the same way I do. And I have all these complaints and stuff, but I'm just a sucker for the geekdom. I'm just geeking out over what I'm seeing over here. It's just absolutely amazing. So I still love the figure, even though it has all these problems. But I'm going to get a replacement at some point, and I'll like it a lot more than without all the QC issues. Or hopefully it won't have all those QC issues. We'll see. Maybe I'll keep you guys updated when I do a review on another Studio Series figure later on down the road. But anyway, thanks again for watching, you guys. If you want to stay in touch with me on the social media, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, and I will catch you guys later. Peace!
I'm gonna play with my toys today. Well, I don't care what my people say. I'm gonna play with my toys today. Can't have one, I gotta get them all. Time to make a trip to the local mall. Oh yeah!
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Your face.